What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Shield Agent Trooper and Hydra Trooper 2-pack. So of course this is an older set that came out last year, and this was a set that we kind of waited on for like sales and stuff and picked it up when it was finally on sale. So we kind of have a backlog of figures that we were just waiting on, like I said, waiting for like sales and stuff they did towards the end of last year. So we kind of have a whole stack of figures to go through at some point. So that's why today we're looking at this 2-pack with our Shield Agent Trooper as well as Hydra Trooper. So just from the front of the box we have our logo, so Shield on one side, Hydra on the other, split down the middle, of course, for our 2-pack. And then on this side we have our Shield Troopers, and on this side we have our Hydra Troopers, and on the back we have the two. So this is going to be female body, so we get two females. So we have our Hydra Trooper and our Shield Trooper, and then we get additional unmasked heads, so we get three of them, so we can pick and choose. We can have the masked ones that are already on the body, and get some additional hands and weapons there, so you can sort of pick and choose, and like I said, use this as an army builder for the female body. So that is pretty cool, I guess, overall. But it's going to be pretty simple, you know, two of the exact same figures, just with different designs. But overall, a pretty cool 2-pack, I must say. So let me get them open out of the box, and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with our SHIELD agent, which SHIELD is Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division that serves as an espionage, special law enforcement, and counterterrorism government agency affiliated with the United States government that was led by Director Nick Fury to deal with superhuman threats and international security. So overall, looks pretty cool. So again, this is just the female body of a SHIELD agent, so nothing new or crazy here, especially for the female body, since we already had that pack before with like the Maria Hill Quake sort of pack where you could choose between the two. So we've already had the body design, but it is cool that it is the newer body where we've got the bicep twist, the double elbows and knees, pinless versions on these as well. So it's cool to have that. And then with the different options, we can sort of switch out heads and sort of army build this, which is pretty cool. But I do like this design. So first we just automatically have the helmet, since that's how it came out of the box. So we have the helmet design, which we've seen these helmets before with the male SHIELD agent figures we've had in the past, and you'll see those in just a little bit. But I love how it has the red visor, the big like mouth breather area, and the helmet up on top of the head with blue. So the blue and black design there looks pretty cool. And then the body we've had before, where they have the all blue jumpsuit from neck down to feet, and then has some white thrown in as well, so straps around the neck. I do like how it has the zipper design, but it's weird it doesn't like come down any further. It just ends right there. But the white straps, the white gloves, white belt around the waist, white straps around the legs, which again I like how they have those built in so they're not sort of loose or free flowing there. Now if they could only do something similar with the belt design so it doesn't move around like it is, and then white on the boots there as well. So overall that all looks pretty cool, and of course has the SHIELD logo there on the biceps, so that looks pretty cool with the SHIELD logo there. But for movements, we have the head that'll twist all the way around, can look down that far, a little bit stiffness in the neck it feels like, and up that far, so pretty decent movements there. We get these shoulders that do come up to 90 and then can rotate all the way around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint. So again, with these joints, a lot of times they're stiff. So on this one, it's a little stiff there, but can bend all the way up. With the wrist, that'll twist around and hinge back and forth a little bit there. And then under the chest, we do get a crunch. So crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. And then down to the hips. The hips can come up to 90 and out to the side that far. Thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, almost kick in the butt. And then the foot will flex back and forth and can twist side to side. So pretty decent movement. So it doesn't have everything, like doesn't have, you know, shin twists or anything like that, but everything else of it works out pretty good for what it is, especially with those double knees and elbows to get good range on that. But as you saw in the back of the box, we do get a number of accessories. So first we get some additional hands. So we get some trigger finger hands, which we'll probably switch out to give her weapons. So there she has the trigger finger hands, and with those we can give her the different weapons. So first we have a pistol. So they have like this futuristic pistol design we've seen multiple times with a little bit thicker barrel there. So we have the pistol, as well as this big like rifle gun, which looks pretty cool, and I like how it's like a darker gray color there. So we'll put these into her hands. So there she has both guns in her hands. So she's got the bigger rifle. Obviously we could take and put both hands on this rifle if we wanted, or just give her the pistol, but there she's got both, just so you can see what that looks like. And then of course we do get the additional heads, which I did say you could use them from either one, which technically you can, but then I did realize that with SHIELD, you know, a lot of times we do see unmasked, you know, SHIELD people. They're not all masked characters, where Hydra, they're almost always masked unless they're like the main leaders. So it would make more sense for these additional heads to go for the SHIELD characters, so you can then sort of build them up. So here we have an unmasked head, a white skinned person with long blonde hair, so in a ponytail with some strands there. It almost kind of reminds me of like Agent 13. So we have that head. Then we have a black head that has her hair sort of back into a bun, which I really like that design. I think that looks pretty cool. Overall, nice looking face for her. And then we also get a head of like a darker skin, maybe like Hispanic or something, that has a shorter, like I want to say bob haircut. So it's got this shorter haircut design and overall nice looking face once again. So you get those three different options as well that we can easily switch out. So let's maybe switch them out and see what they look like. So there's the blonde head version. So I think that looks pretty decent. Again, that could easily be like an Agent 13. And there's the black head, which unfortunately with it not having the longer hair like the other one did, you see more of the neck and it just makes the neck look way too long because you see it should come to about here. So it just seems a little bit too long. Like obviously at a distance it doesn't seem as bad, but just seeing it up close like this doesn't look as good. So I wish they had more hair, so that means that other head's not going to look as good either. So yeah, to me that head doesn't look as good either. Like it doesn't look bad from this side because you don't see as much of the neck, but from this side you can see more of the neck. So I don't like that design much at all. So unfortunately we either just have to go with the masked head or probably the blonde haired one, just because those are the two that look relatively decent on this body. The others just show way too much neck, but none of the heads are bad. You could easily use those for anything else, so we can try that. And like I said, you could always use them for the Hydra, but like I said, Hydra's always masked up, so wouldn't make sense for that. But for the shield agents, that looks cool, and I like that we get the different head options. But yeah, probably the mask would just overall be the best option. But now with that, we can add in the rest of our shield agents. And there she is with our other shield agents. So of course we have Nick Fury, always have to have him as the leader of shield. And then we have our Maria Hill and Quake that was again on very similar body. Looks like they maybe just changed the blue a little bit to make it a little bit lighter blue compared to this darker blue, but everything else body wise is going to pretty much be the same between them. And then we have our two male bodies that have the same head. So we have the older body that matches with this Nick Fury, and then the little bit newer body that we got more recently that to me looks like maybe the blues match a little bit closer, but again it's just the little bit newer male body that matches close with this compared to this older body that Nick Fury's on. So there we have our shield agents. Of course we do have other shield related stuff, but I just wanted to show the main agents that have sort of this similar body design to them. So that looks pretty cool having all of shield there together. And of course we can army build these to sort of build out our ranks of females now. So cool to get this female shield agent with this pack. And then we have our Hydra Trooper, which Hydra is a secret organization created by Red Skull during World War II after seeing the Nazis were falling apart. So he went to Japan and merged criminal organizations with fugitive members of Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan to create the group. And Red Skull then brought in Baron von Strucker, who renamed the organization to Hydra. And after World War II, Hydra manipulated the rise of totalitarianism in China and North Korea with its methodology of supremacy and elitism in the world. And after S.H.I.E.L.D. creation in the 1960s, the two organizations would have many conflicts to assert their dominance in the world order. So having the Hydra Trooper here is cool, again in the female body to go along with the S.H.I.E.L.D. one, and then to add along with all the other male bodies we already have. So it looks pretty decent, relatively body-wise going to be exactly the same as the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. The only difference is she doesn't have the straps there on her thighs, but everything else about it's going to be the same. But she's in the Hydra colors of the dark green and yellow, so I think that looks pretty cool. And of course we have her face all covered up. As I said, they're always sort of faceless, so I love how it's got the yellow like bug-eyed there, which is kind of cool. But you can see some of her mouth, and she has some red lipstick on there, and then overall just the complete spandex covering from head to toe. Then she has the straps here around her chest with the H logo, of course, for Hydra. Going around there to the back, has the Hydra logo on her shoulder with the skull and tentacles. Yellow belt around the waist with the H, and of course a pocket design. Yellow gloves and yellow boots there. So pretty simple, basic design overall. But for movements, the head will twist all the way around. Can look down that far and up that far. Again, pretty stiff here in the neck. And then we get the shoulders that come up to 90 and rotate around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that can bend all the way up on itself once again there, with the wrist that'll twist around and hinge back and forth. And then we go to the crunch under the chest, so crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. And the hips come up to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, almost kicking her butt, with the foot that'll flex back and forth and twist side to side. So obviously the exact same movement, so it's going to be pretty decent there, like I said, especially with the double knees and elbows, but it is the female body, so it doesn't have all the exact same range that the males do, especially like newer figures, but still decent for what she's got. Now, accessory wise, we do get additional hands, so we do get some fist hands, so if you want to have some fists, she can use those, as well as our hands with the trigger fingers like the last one. So let's go and switch these out. So So there are the trigger fingers, and with that we get the same weapon. So we get a pistol, so pretty much the exact same pistol design, and then we get a gun, which looks pretty cool. So this rifle design that has almost like a pump action. It could be like a shotgun, I guess. It's hard to tell design wise for me since I don't know guns too well, but overall it looks pretty cool. I like how, especially on this side, it does have purple design for like the shotgun shells, so it may be a shotgun, but it looks pretty decent overall just the way it is there. So let's put these in our hands, and I may just put this one alone in her hand just because it looks pretty cool design wise. So unfortunately it's not the easiest to get into her hands. The gun just seems a little bit too big to really fit into the size of her hands and arms and stuff, but that's the best I could get her to do there, which does look pretty cool. And of course, like I said, you could obviously take those unmasked heads and put them on her, but like I said, with Hydra, they don't really have any unmasked characters unless you're one of the main leaders of Hydra and not really hiding your identity. But obviously with any figure you can switch out its head, so we have that option. But let's go and add her in with the rest of our Hydra characters. So there's more of our basic Hydra troopers that she matches along with much more, has the darker green and yellow design, and she matches along with them a lot better. So of course we have our 4 different male designs. I think a lot of these though are the same, like this version and these two are pretty much the same, just have different head designs on them. And then of course we have our big brute there as well. But we can also add in Bob, since we got Bob more recently with that Deadpool pack, and then of course Baron von Strucker as well. And of course you could obviously do a Red Skull as well, but I decided just to go with Strucker. But their color wise don't really match, because like Bob and Strucker are more similar green wise, with the yellows that don't really match the rest of them, so those don't really fit in too well, even though they'd be good to add in with Hydra. But with this we just have to kind of keep this group we have here because they match a lot better color wise. So once again, it's cool to add a female body in to go along with the rest of the male Hydra troopers. So that is going to be it for our Marvel Legends Hydra and Shield Agent 2-pack, where we got our Hydra Trooper and Shield Agent here together that both look cool in the female body designs. Nice, easy army builder with the different head options that we can use, especially for the Shield Agents, but like I said, you could always use them for Hydra as well. So pretty cool 2-pack, obviously not the greatest thing ever. It'd be nice if this pack was pretty cheap, and then you could easily army build a bunch of them and, just add a bunch of female troopers to each of your teams. But I'm sure they cost the normal price except for when we got them on sale. But pretty cool for this 2-pack. Like I said, not the most interesting things ever, but 2 nice figures to add to the collection. But let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments. If you enjoyed my review, let me know with a like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more reviews. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.